Hello all the Cards and Tankards players currently watching this video. So you've clicked on this video because you probably either saw the title or saw the thumbnail, or you knew what this was and wanted to get more information on it. As you saw, this is going to be a video describing my new monthly tournament that I will be running for Cards and Tankards, my monthly standard event. I made this tournament because there's just kind of a lack of tournaments in general right now, and also nobody really seems interested in running just a plain, no modifier, no nothing event. So this is just going to be a standard tournament where we're going to follow similar formatting to how the championship events would run if you have seen any of those played before or have played in them yourselves. It will feel very similar, but with a couple modifications to hopefully make the game more competitive in nature. So, let's jump right into the information for this event. So, this event will be held every second Saturday of the month, starting this month, which means this Saturday, October 8th, will be the first event for the standard monthly. The start time for the event is listed as 1:30 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time. This is the start time for the registration, which will last 30 minutes, at which point at 2 p.m. EST, the actual games will start. The pairings will be announced for round 1, and it will be up to you and your opponent to find each other in any tavern that you wish to play out your best of one Swiss round. At the end of the round, you would then, only one of the two of you needs to report your round win or your round loss. So you would either report one win or one loss, depending on which you did. And then once everyone is done, we'll move to the next Swiss round, and we will continue on until 6 or 7 Swiss rounds have been played, depending on how many people show up. Then, after that, we will get to the top 8 portion of the event, where the top 8 players will play in a best of 3 single elimination bracket. All of those matches will be played in the same tavern, and I'm going to try to control who is allowed in that tavern. I'm going to try to make it so that only the top 8 themselves and some people here to help me officiate and maybe stream or record the event can enter the tavern, just because we don't want it getting too crowded. I want to try to keep the environment as competitive as possible for these events. Now, the top 8 for this will be what we call a 3-deck format. Now, I'm going to go into some detail on what specifically that means, because we have never run an event like this in Cards and Tankards before. So this format is used in a couple different major online card games. So this format is used in a couple of other major online card games. You can see it mainly in Hearthstone, Legends of Runeterra, and Gwent, just to name a couple of them that use this format. So it's clearly shown to be a very competitive format. Here's how it works. Every top 8 finisher will have to bring 3 decks into the top 8. Each deck must be a different primary faction, so you can't run multiple MRA decks or multiple plunder decks. You can use any secondary factions you want, but you cannot run the same primary faction. So you must have 3 different primary faction decks. Then every time you show up to a match, you will tell your opponent which 3 factions you're playing, and your opponent will tell you the same. Then each of you will tell one of the officials there which of the other person's deck you would like to ban them from being able to use. So what that means is, if I show up with a Dungeon Master, an MRA, and a Plunder deck, my opponent would then pick one of those 3, and I am not allowed to play that during the best of 3. Then, for the actual best of 3 itself, you must then get a win with the other 2 decks that weren't banned. So what this means is if I had a Dungeon Master, MRA, and Plunder Guild deck, and the Plunder Guild deck got banned, I would have to then get 1 win with my Dungeon Master deck and 1 win with my MRA deck in order to qualify to the next round. Once you get a win with one of the decks, you won't be allowed to play it anymore in that best of 3 set. So, how it might look is we ban each other's decks. I'll play my Dungeon Master deck in game 1. If I win with it, then in game 2 I swap to my MRA deck, and if I lose with it, I play the MRA deck again and hopefully win in my 3rd game for the best of 3. Then, if you move on to the next round, you have to continue using those same 3 decks that you used in the quarterfinals, and you would tell your opponent your 3 decks again, and then they would ban one of them. And this will continue until both the quarterfinals, semifinals, and then finals matches have all concluded. This format is to hopefully stay away from the one deck that's absolutely dominating the meta. That might not be true right now, but this will hopefully spice things up and force players to think more outside the box when coming up with what decks they're going to be bringing into the event. For the Swish portion of the event, you can play any deck that you want, mainly just because it's a lot harder to regulate that, but once we hit top 8, you will be required to submit your 3 deck lists to me, so that we can be sure that you are playing the exact same decks throughout the entire top 8. This is so that, both for the competitive nature and so that we can try to get an idea of what the actual meta of the game even looks like right now. So, for the prizing for the event, I'm sure what a lot of people have been waiting for, I will be putting up 5,000 gems, at least, for all of the monthly standard events. If you played in my last tournament, the prizing scheme is basically the exact same. So, I'm going to be trying to give away as many gems as I can to as many people as I can. So basically, if you play through the entire Swiss portion, you will be leaving with at least 25 gems in your pocket. You can see the exact breakdown of the gem amounts right here. So hopefully that incentivizes a bunch of people to come out and play and be competitive as they can be. Now, for actual claiming your gem prizes, you will be able to complete your prize between the Swiss portion and the top 8 portion, as I will be giving some time for all of the top 8 placers to officially submit their deck lists and make their deck lists. So there will be probably about a 15 to 20 minute window in which you can claim your prize then. Otherwise, as you can see here, these are going to be the dates and times that I will be showing up in-game in a private tavern to give out people's prizing. I will be online for about 15 to 20 minutes at a time. At each of these times listed, I will put the private tavern code into the Tournament Talk channel, the Tourney Talk channel. So make sure to check there at one of these times so that you can come claim your prizing. If none of these times work for you, please reach out to me immediately, because if you do not reach out to me or claim your prize within a week, then your prize will be null and void. I'm not going to be, paying someone from 2 months back who never decided to show up to collect their gems. If less than 64 players show up to the event, of course, the prizing will be bumped up a bit, but the current prizing is actually for over 5,000 gems a bit, so it probably won't move around too much as long as we stick around the 64 player count. Probably anywhere between 50 and 64 players, these numbers will stay exactly the same. Anything lower than that and the prizes will collapse a bit to make up for that, just to make sure that 5,000 gems were given out for the event. And the actual player count will be taken not at the start of the event, but at the end of the Swiss portion for the event. You do have to be there at the start of the tournament and at the end of the Swiss portion. You can't show up in the last round and then expect to claim a prize. And then the last thing I want to mention is, well, what happens if either card balances come out or new cards come out very close to the days leading up to a monthly standard event? I'm going to be following what at the very least Pokemon the Trading Card Game does, because I have a lot of experience with that game. For card balances, the event will remain at the stated time. I can't really move back the event because of life reasons, because I have to take off work for the event. So the event will be at its listed time, and it's just going to be a bit wonky of an event that month. And then if new cards happen to come out within the week of the event, or the week prior to the event, you won't be able to play the new cards in that event. So in that month, you won't be able to play the new cards. So if new cards come out within 14 days of the event happening, you won't be able to play the new cards. This is to give people time to really understand the new cards, and much more importantly, to even acquire the new cards in the first place. As not a lot of people, have all the time and resources to grind out all of the cards in 5 days. So I think giving a 14-week grace period at the very least is enough time to get people all of the cards that they need. So I think that's all I wanted to say. If you have any more questions, please feel free to reach out to me on the Discord, or please feel free to DM me in Discord, or reach out via the Tourney Talk channel. You can just ping me. My name is Tony Bigblind, and I hope to see a bunch of people there. I think this is going to be really fun. I think this is kind of what the game is sort of lacking right now, a real competitive scene. So hopefully I'm able to bring that to the game in a way that both people who aren't incredible at the game can get something out of it, and people who are really good at the game can come test their skills in the arenas. Or I guess at the tables. So hope to see you all there. Have a good one.